What up, everybody? Welcome to the Rival Fantasy Show. I am your host, Neil Maligno. We are doing a fantasy baseball season-long best ball draft. We are going to do this. I'm going to share the screen right now with you guys so we can watch us do it live. I really enjoy these best ball drafts on Rival Fantasy. So this makes it fun for me, right? Like season-long MLB is very tough to do, right? As we all know, MLB takes a lot of time. It's time consuming. It's a daily adjustment schedule, roster moves, all these kind of things. And so those are tough. Those can be hard to manage if you don't have the time, or if you just don't, basically it's just a time thing. If you don't have the time to pour into it, those are tough. But with best ball, it's way more easy for me because it's less time consuming in terms of checking the lineups every single day and adjusting. So let's go ahead. So far, Ronald Acuna, Aaron Judge, Julio Rodriguez have been drafted. This is just the fourth pick in the draft. Again, this is season-long Major League Baseball. I'm gonna go with Mookie. I'm gonna go with Mookie out the gate. Gotta start strong. I want to make sure I got a guy that I trust a lot. Again, this is on Rival Fantasy. It's best ball drafts. This was a $3 draft. You can check over here. You can actually copy. You can see the scoring system. You can turn the sound on and off. You can look. You can queue players up if there's certain players that you want to monitor kind of throughout the draft. You can go through and filter by the different positions as well. You could also have them show only drafted players. If you have favorites across the Rival Fantasy platform, you can have those favorites show up there. You can also look at rookies only. All right, let's get cut up really quick. Kyle Tucker, Juan Soto, Freddie Freeman, Trey Turner. Okay. Should I stack the Dodgers? No, I'm not going to stack the Dodgers. I think I'm going to say, so how it works here is you get three infielders, 3 outfielders, a utility, 3 pitchers, and then a bunch of bench spots. So I'm going to go Tatis. I really like Fernando Tatis this year, so I'm going to go ahead and take him. So now I got 2 outfielders. I don't get too crazy specific in terms of which positions I take first. I just look for impact. I typically don't jump at pitchers super early necessarily and grab them really early. I know sometimes people do. This pitcher, Garrett Cole was drafted already, but this user is on auto draft. So that's probably why, I can assume that's why they were drafted already. All right. So do I want to, I might just settle my outfield right now, or I could go Pete Alonso. Do I want to go Alvarez, or I feel like Alonso's going to have a big season trying to prove that, he belongs on that long-term extension for the Mets. I think that's probably the way I'm going to go. Just to mix things up a little bit too. I could go 3 outfielders, but I don't want to. So I will go with Alonso. As you can see, the timer is only 45 seconds per pick in this draft. You can choose to do MLB slow drafts for season long if you want as well. So those are available. If you prefer a slow draft, if that's more your speed, they are available to you. I actually like those a lot too. It gives you a little more time to kind of, think things out instead of feeling that, that pressure of the pick needing to be made. Now, there's a lot of cool things on Rival Fantasy. If you are curious, like, how do I know the latest news or anything like that on a player, you can actually just click on the player's name and this player card will show up. And so the player card will actually show you, it has a really cool graph here with like the recent scoring of this particular player, the schedule. Obviously, this would be, these here would be spring training and stuff going on. And then there's the game log, there's the team depth chart, stuff like that, history. So there's a few different, tabs for you to click into here. And then of course you have the news here on the right as well. It's not us yet, right? We're not up yet. Currently our build is 2 outfielders so far and 2 infielders. Again, just a reminder that you need 3 infielders to start, 3 outfielders to start, a utility, 3 pitchers, and then you have a bunch of bench slots. This is best ball. So the way best ball works is your highest scoring players will automatically be put into the starting lineup for you. So that's how this will work. So that's why the bench spots are so important, because you got Ellie. I like Ellie, man. I like Ellie. Now I am a Mets fan, right? So the question now to myself is, of course, I think the Mets are going to have a fantastic season. Of course, I believe in my New York Mets. Do I want to stack Lindor and Alonso, who I have high expectations for this season? Do I want to go a different route, get another outfielder? Do I want to start jumping into those pitchers? You can see over here that this guy is drafted 2 pitchers already. So he's really locking the pitchers down. I might go I kind of want to go Lindor, man. I'm a homer. Plus, I've done a lot of these, so I try to mix up. Have some variation in my drafts. I don't want too many of the same drafts, too many similar drafts. And I've done a lot of these best ball drafts, so I know in my mind who I've drafted a lot, or the different lineups, builds that I've used. With that being said, I want to make sure that I don't stay too much of the same, but also I believe in those players and I believe in those builds. So I do want to have enough of them where I feel like I've invested enough into my, my beliefs and my research. I probably will look potentially for an outfielder next. If not, I will go for my first pitcher. I do like to queue guys up. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go Mike Trout. I do like to queue guys up, especially pitchers. Because I do have certain pitchers that I like a lot. Certain pitchers that I do kind of want to potentially have in this build. And so I will for sure queue guys. Again, pitchers or later draft players. Those are guys that I tend to queue up. This way I have them. If I forget them, it's easy to forget, especially pitchers. Again, I throw a bunch over there because they're going to fly at some point. These pitchers are all just going to fly right off the board. And just a few names that I don't want to forget in the heat of the moment. It'd be easy to just kind of, forget that they exist. So I try to knock a few over there. I think I got enough lined up for now. So again, with my current roster build, I got 3 outfielders, 3 infielders. Do I want to, go pitcher now? I think I will. I'll go with Yamato. All the hype on Yamato. I got 2 Dodgers right now. I got 2 Mets right now, mixing it up a little bit, but I'm stacking those guys here a little bit. Now again, I still have a utility spot to fill, but really in reality now we're just like, we got to get some pitchers. As you can see, pitchers are starting to go here, right? Pitchers are starting to go. Again, there's some early and some people who drafted them early, but in this range right here, in this 6th and 7th range, you're starting to see a lot of pitchers drafted. I'm going to go ahead and lock in Valdez as well. Now, just a reminder, this is all on Rival Fantasy. So you want to go to rivalfantasy.com to play in these type of best ball leagues, or you could just download the app. If you go into your app store, type in Rival Fantasy Sports, the app will pop up. It's free to download. There's no charge for it. Of course, you do have to be in a state where it's legal to play their best ball. They do have season-long leagues, like regular fantasy football leagues that are for everybody. It's available to everybody. But of course, that's only happening during football season. You can get on there if you're in the legal states. You can play best ball. You also have challenges. You also have fantasy bingo. There's tons of cool things at Rival Fantasy. So I highly suggest you go check those out. Let me bring this back up here because I am back on the clock. Do I want to go for a 3rd pitcher right now, or do I want to look at other positions? Do I like what's around? I'm going to go Schwarber. I feel like I got a really solid core. I feel like right now, looking at my lineup, I feel like I have a really solid core. My infielders are Alonso, Riley, Lindor. My outfielders are Betts, Tatis, Trout, and then I just added Kyle Schwarber. And then my pitchers right now, I only have 2. I have Valdez, Yamato. So I want another pitcher. I don't have to reach necessarily. I don't have to lock one in, but I kind of want to lock one in right now. The fun thing about best ball is you're seeing all the different ways that people are approaching this. So I don't necessarily have to get my 3rd pitcher right now, because there are some pitchers who are going to fall who I don't mind grabbing as my 3rd, and then as depth plays as well. I am back on the clock. Some infielders. Let's see, outfielders. Jazz. I do kind of want Jazz. I think I'm going to go there. Again, I could have went for a 3rd pitcher, but again, don't feel forced. I don't like to feel forced into drafting one just because I have a technically a starter spot open. Again, it's best ball. So my best players are just going to get put into the lineup. I want to make sure I have enough players to fill that lineup at its highest, potential. You never know if injuries are going to arise. So I also do try to make sure we get enough guys in that depth spot, in that bench, that I try to kind of even it out, infielders and outfielders. That way, like I said, injuries, things like that. And I will put some pitchers in there as well, because we know, pitcher injuries could be long-term or could really take them out for an extended period of time. And I don't want to get stuck not having, solid pitching options when that happens. I don't want to be in that, situation necessarily. So I will, take those shots as well. I don't have him in my queue, and I'm kind of hoping I get this next pick. I want to go Fried. Yeah. Get a Brave on there. I don't think I have any Braves yet, right? Oh, I do have Brave. I have Austin Riley as well. See, as a Mets fan, logically, I'm just a Braves hater, but I got to acknowledge they're a really good team. and in fantasy they have a ton of value. So I'm not gonna be that guy who skips on guys just because he hates the team or whatever the case may be. We're back up. Now, do we go for another pitcher? Do we go for a position player? We can look around again. You can go through the all if you want to just see all the players and kind of the ADP, or you can change to different positions. I do like Cruz. Do I want to get Cruz? I kind of really like Cruz. I don't really want to miss out on him. Do I like him better than my pitching options? I think I'm going to take a chance on him right now. So now I have an outfielder and an infielder in my depth, in my bench, right? So that's a good, position to be in. You want to make sure, again, I try to keep it even. I don't necessarily go one over the other or lean one over the other. And again, I don't want to forget pitchers because I don't want to be in a situation where a pitcher gets injured, especially one that I drafted really early that I'm really relying on, and then I can't get them in there to fill the spot. So I do draft. Sometimes I find myself drafting a few pitchers in a row. Sometimes a couple, 2, 3. Sometimes if I'm really in that mood, to just nail, to get a few off. And other times I kind of let them fall a little bit. But right now I have 3 of them, and if they get in trouble, I do want to kind of have backup options. So I'm not opposed to drafting another one right now necessarily. Just depends on who I want to grab at that point. So we'll see. Let's look around. George Kirby working on a knuckleball. The different news you see sometimes the news is, worthy of it, but sometimes it's like, yeah. But again, I do kind of want to get some more work in here. And so I want to make sure I get some decent options. Damn, Kirby just went. Okay. I do like Gilbert. Gilbert is, a good safety valve for what I have going right now. I got too many Dodger pitchers over here though. I got to make sure I mix that up. I don't want to get, too jammed up with too many players on the same team, because I have a lot of Dodgers in general at the moment. So I don't want to, I like to mix it up a little bit, even just for the sake of mixing it up. Like I do want to, keep things fresh. You can also sort, by the way. So you can sort by fantasy points. This is, of course, last year's numbers, by fantasy points and its pitch, whatever the stat is, wins, losses. See, like someone like Verlander, I avoid in best ball. I don't want part of that issue, right? Like I don't want to deal with, I don't want to deal with that idea, right? Like of having to deal with injuries. I try to avoid them as much as possible. Although it's not always going to work out in your favor in terms of, whether that player actually doesn't get hurt or does get hurt, that kind of stuff. You can't really control that, but I do want to avoid the issues if possible. I have 16 seconds left here. I want to grab, I feel like let me see. I think I might grab Will Smith. Damn, I'm too Dodger related here. At this point, I have too many Dodgers, right? Like, what do we got? 1, 2. I only have 3, so that's not bad. Okay, I'm cool with that, but I don't want to keep grabbing them. So I have to, spread the wealth out here. Again, this is best ball. Season long is great if you have the time to invest in it and pour into it and constantly be managing it, because you got to stay on top of it 100%. You fall behind, it's a wrap. But in best ball, I personally love it because I don't have to invest that much time. I invested into my research. I invest that time into the draft, into the players I need to get, the builds I want to do, but I don't have to lock myself in all season long doing it. So with best ball, I pick the players. The system will automatically put the best players in for me each week, and I love it. It's super fun. And again, you got the quick draft, which is like this, where it's 45 seconds a pick, or you have the slow draft where it's hours per pick if you have to be. So people have the time for that. You don't necessarily have to, but you have that time. Of course, person before me picked Freddie Peralta last round. I kind of wish, maybe I should have went with him. I don't know. I should have went with him. It could have been an ability, a choice, an option for me. He was in my queue. Most people right now, by now, have a good amount of pitchers. I still feel like I don't have enough. So I will take Musgrove right now. I'm going to take Glasnow off my list because I don't want too many Dodgers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more bench spots. I have 2 infielders on my bench. So I do want to make sure I get enough outfielders. This way I don't have any, too much problems. I do like Suzuki. I'll put him on my side here so I don't forget about him. Anyone else that I pretend, as a Mets bias, Nemo and Marte are here. I'm gonna go Suzuki for now, because I do want to have him. So I have, let's see, 2 outfielders. I definitely need more outfielders. I feel like Marte has a good chance to rebound this year. All reports are coming out, but the injury, again, the injuries make you nervous. They make you nervous, no doubt. Jordan Walker. There's some okay options out here, but I don't want to rush into those. Tim Anderson. Should I take a shot? He signed with the Marlins. He had a down season last year. These are the kind of moves. You roll the dice. You roll the dice. In best ball, you can take these chances. You roll the dice a little bit. If Tim Anderson has a huge year, I just got him in the 17th round, is it? I'll take it. I'll take the chance at a rebound. I need to have some wild cards. I need to have some, risk involved. No risk, no reward. That's how I feel, right? So go big or go home. So I'm going to take a shot on someone like him. I want to make sure my bench is balanced out here a little bit so I have myself covered. I do have 3 infielders now. I have 2 outfielders, and I have a couple pitchers. So I want to make sure the next couple rounds, I kind of want to get at least one more pitcher, at the very least, one more pitcher. I don't know Yankees either, but I'm gonna go Bieber. All right. I still want another outfielder, I said, right? These are so fun. And honestly, like the fast draft, the 45 seconds, and the slow draft, they're both fun in their own unique ways. Like they honestly, I get really excited. Either one, I really enjoy them. Again, 2 different styles. It's still baseball. It's still best ball, but 2 different styles, and you feel it, right? Like you feel the heat of the fast draft. With a slow draft, you feel a little more relaxed. You feel a little more relaxed. You don't feel as much pressure, to immediately, jump at these picks. Where you definitely feel pressure in the faster draft. If you haven't done your homework, you're definitely gonna feel some pressure. You're definitely gonna feel it. I'm gonna go with Nemo again. It could be my Nemo. It could be my Mets bias, but I'm gonna grab him for my pitcher. I'm gonna do another risk reward play here. Go with Senga. I know he's hurt. He's my only injured player, or like player that's kind of like injured at the moment that I feel like I'm taking the big risk on. He has an injury right now. I believe it's an elbow injury, shoulder or elbow. I forget which one. But again, it's a risk I'm taking, but it's the risk I'm worth. I'm gambling. I think he's going to be the best Mets pitcher this season. At the same time, I acknowledge the injury is there, and that's why I'm getting him so late in my mind. And so I'll take the risk. And so my picks are done. This draft is over in 3 more picks. I'll show you guys here how the screen looks after the fact, so you can see how clean and nice. As you can see, the draft was super smooth, super clean, just really nice. So this is what happens when your draft ends. It'll say your draft is complete. You obviously can see, the entire draft and how things played out. You can also hit go to league. This will show you your roster, the guys you just drafted basically. So you can see every single thing. These are your pitchers, benched. These are the actual starters that you currently have, utility. And so you can see everything here like this laid out. You can also go to stand-ins. This will show you the part of your, points basically during the season. Right now, nothing's here because the season hasn't, started or taken place, but you'll see this here. And again, this is, you can scroll through the weeks, however you want to, look through it. And again, you don't have to set a lineup. You don't have to trade. You can't trade. You can't do waivers. You can't set lineups. You can't do anything at all. Also, if you go over here, top right tells you what place you're in, and it'll also show you the win-ins. You can also click on the info thing. It'll tell you the breakdown. $3 entry fee, 6 teams, prizes is $16.20. It's actually first place gets $9.72. Second place gets $6.48. And again, this was what you would have seen before you joined, before you signed up. This is the information you would have before you hit join, or it's up to you. And again, this is really fun, low cost entry. The prizes are fun. I just like to knock a bunch of these out, right? And I mix them up. Sometimes I do similar lineups, and again, I throw some variants in there, yeah. But at the end of the day, these are a lot of fun to me. I'm not playing these to become a millionaire. I'm not playing these to win hundreds of thousands of dollars and have all these unrealistic expectations and all this kind of stuff. I'm playing this to use my skill, to sharpen my skill, to have fun, to compete with my friends. I can do these. Now, the thing with best ball is you can join a public league. This was a public league, for instance, or you can actually, when you click on the public leagues, you can hit to copy and make a private league out of it. And there you could just share it with your friends. So you can either join the public league and share it out and tell people, hey, I'm in a public league. You want to join, or you can create a private league. It will actually clone that particular league. And then you can just text it to your friends, email it to your friends, post it on socials, whatever you're doing. You can do that as well. So there's tons of fun way to play. I like this because, again, I'm not trying to win $100,000. I'm not trying to win $1 million. I'm not trying to have these wild, crazy expectations and, retire off best ball. I just love fantasy football. I just love fantasy baseball. I just love fantasy basketball. And so loving these sports, I'm a diehard fan, and I like to compete with other people, my friends, fellow employees, whatever it is, strangers, it doesn't matter. I like to compete. And so I joined a lot of these and just play them out and have fun. What I win is, cool prize money still to have. Obviously, I'm looking forward to that, but it's just the competition of it. It's just in my nature. It's what I love. It's a social thing as well. And so it's a lot of fun. I highly encourage you guys to go check them out. Again, you can find these at rivalfantasy.com or download the app. I will have a link here in the description for you guys to sign up if you want to do that. That link will actually get you a deposit match up to $200 plus a $25 free voucher. Of course, you have to be in a legal state, or you could just type in promo code SPOT. You can type in the code PODCAST, PODCAST, and that same offer will apply. Again, guys, this is Rival Fantasy Best Ball. I am Neil Maligno. I appreciate you for joining me as always. Don't forget, if you like this video, if you want to watch more content, we have tons of advice, news, all kinds of sports stuff on there. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, help us with the YouTube algorithm. Tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell everyone you know to come to Rival Fantasy, subscribe, join, play, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys, and I'm out.